great cat sits upon the northern grasslands, my friend, waiting to pounce on adventurers just like you. As you part the tall grass with your sword, the words of the tavern keeper echo in your head. He was the mightiest wizard we'd ever known, and that lion castle was his home. Your friends' voices mingle with the tavern keeper's. He's but a ghost now, haunting those halls and waiting for an heir. The ground rises slightly. A strong wind rushes through the field. Suddenly, the grasses part, and the lion castle rises majestically before you. Magical riches await those who enter. Beware of the man-beasts. Voices flood your head again. Will you brave the haunted castle? Can you afford not to? It's all up to you in this D&D solo adventure. Tonight, friends, we play the Ghost of Lion Castle, B Solo 9097, official basic solo adventure. B Solo, Ghost of Lion Castle, written by Merle Rasmussen in 1984. Merle Rasmussen was also the author of Top Secret, the spy RPG that TSR produced. I've never played this module before. I heard it's difficult. We're going to learn about this module together. We're going to die together and have fun together. The R entries are rule entries. The C entries are the courtyards, which means the outer portion of the map. The L entries are the inner portion of the maps. This comes with several inner maps. Now, the great thing about this is we have map outlines, but they are not filled in, so we will have to fill them in. And there's a number of rules we have to learn to be able to play this game. The adventure starts off with 3 or 4 pages of R entries, which are just rule after rule after rule, 19 of them to be exact. What I did is I went to Google Drive. I read through these at a separate point. Here we are on Google Drive. I'd be happy to share these with you. If anybody wants them, let me know. It's going to make things a little easier, I think. Let's go over these really quick. Oh, but before I do that, I want to, number 3 on this is something I want to talk about before we get started. This is really, really unique, this adventure, this mechanic. I don't know, I really think that more solo games should do this, game books should do this. It's a thing called the Magic Journal and record keeping, basically. Basically, if you take an item from a room, it tells you it has a margin where you can take notes and you can say that that item has been removed. So the player character that I'm playing at this time, he picks up this item. I need to scratch that off of the entry of my book and say that Joe Schmo is carrying the magic lamp. They call it the Magic Journal, right? And that way we keep track in the margins of someone's carrying around something. If Joe Schmo were to meet his demise, which he most likely will, all the items that Joe Schmo is carrying stays in the exact location that he dies. That way, if I want to play again, I can find Joe Schmo's body and get all those items, and I will not find those items in the places they were taken. It basically makes a cohesive, multi-adventure, I'm thinking of a phrase, maybe I'll think of it in a minute. But basically, it just keeps going. It's cool. It's awesome. I love it. So we've talked about all that. With mapping, you'll have to finish a map yourself. There is 10-inch ceilings. You will die. The map, again, is for posterity. Basically, Joe Schmo's filling out the map, and when he gets killed by the giant nasty, he drops the map, and then someone else can pick it up later. Although, that's not exactly right, because I can use the map from the beginning. It's kind of a... Let's move on. There's a combat checklist when I decide to fight. I can never encounter more than one monster at a time. That might have been a better mechanic, but maybe that's the only thing that works. So we'll see how that goes. You're doing initiative just like basic D&D. This is basic D&D. Yes, don't forget, this is basic Dungeons and Dragons we're playing with. Makes it way cool, right? So you have initiative. You roll for the monster's initiative. And movement only really matters in combat if you're trying to run away, or if the monster is trying to run away. We'll come up with that later. Come back to that later. Morale, again, once you hit your monster, you've got to roll for morale. Casting, can only cast or attack. Whenever you're casting, you're assuming the monster is 10 feet away from you. Hand to hand, there's something on the manual. I don't know if I'll be hand to hand. I hope not. There's special monster combats like a giant bee, a lycanthrope, giant rats. Read the manual. Fighting in the dark, -4 if you have no light, or if you're not an elf who has infravision, and the monsters get a +4. Wandering monsters, when asked to check, only when asked to check, you roll a d6, you get a 1 for it. 1 is a monster, and then there's a table 1 you start on. You can heal and rest at any entry you'd like. However, the caveat to that is that you have to lose 1 day of rations. If you have no rations, you lose -2 hit points for hunger. And here's the catch: you only get 1 hit point for resting overnight. So if you're hungry, don't rest. Keep going, or else you're going to lose a net -1 hit point. When you're resting, you roll a d6 for wandering monsters, and that wandering monster will surprise you in your sleep, so you don't want that. You can study your spell book, and you can regain spells while you're healing and resting, so that's good. The spells have a little bit different reactions inside the Lion Keep, so we'll read the manual when that comes up. Same thing if we try to use some magic items. We need to make sure that the magic item isn't changed a little bit because of the magical properties of said castle. 18 death. This is where we talked about it. Your magic journal. Next to your last entry, you can say, here lies so-and-so. Do a little thing in the margin. Here lies Joey Schmoey. His mother loved him dearly. And then keep track of the items. So we'll keep our PC page and our PC character sheet, because those items can then be picked up by the next guy that comes around and plays this adventure. I love this mechanic. I love this idea. I love it. And that's it. 19 says go pick a character or make a character and start at C1, the outer courtyard. So because I'm not super up to date with Basic, I haven't played it for a little bit, we're going to look and we're going to pick one of these pre-rolled characters that's already here. Although I'd love to roll up a fighter, I just don't. I'm going to go with one of these guys. I'll make it easier. So you can do any of these pre-rolled characters. Here's second level guys. Here's first level guys. I'd say that's if you want a challenge, man. I'm not doing that. Did you guys hear about the dwarf fortune teller, by the way, who escaped from prison? Yeah, he's a small medium at large. I'll be here all week. Anyway, I'm going to go with the highest, the toughest dude I can find. That's just how I roll. 14 hit points looks nice. It's a 3rd level elf, sword master conjurer. I like it. Got charm, read magic, and continual light. Okay, and these are all the languages they speak. Now listen, if I want to escape or if I don't want to fight, one of the rules is that if I can speak the language of said monster, the monster will attack me. Here's what I'm wearing. Sword +1, shield. If I'm running away, I don't get a shield bonus. What's my armor class? 4. Everybody's got the Lion Castle maps. That's very cool. Nice little touch there, guys. We're in NATHAL. Let's get started. All right, so I found this nice Basic D&D form fillable PDF on jaspersrantings.wordpress.com. I will share this. Thank you, Jasper. I don't know when you did this, probably a while back. Yeah, but we're going to use it. I took it and I filled in. I pulled up the 1983 Basic Menser edition. Same thing as, I mean, it's almost completely similar in rules set to the 1981 Moldvay version. It just got a little bit nicer of a layout, so I pulled that up. Bargle, you fiend. Yeah, and so I had to pull it up to pull up, yeah, saving throws, and I couldn't remember the ability adjustments, but, oh, bless you, babe. And yeah, so here we got everything written in. I've got a rope of climbing. I got all my stuff going. I wrote my languages in here. He's neutral because he speaks neutral. You remember? I don't know if you remember in the old days of D&D, your alignment, you got a language for your alignment. So since he speaks neutral, I knew that NATHAL was neutral. And he's a level 3 elf, which is a sword master. What is it? Sword master conjurer. So cool. Well, NATHAL, it's time to go.